it's Gail from Gail's Bookish Things. I hope you're getting the beginning of my videos. I always notice that my greeting is chopped off even though I wait a few seconds. Anyway, it's Gail from Gail's Bookish Things, and it's good to have you with me tonight. It's a Friday, and surprise of all surprise, I'm here by myself. There are 8 people that still live in my home. I have 4 kids that are grown and married and out of the house, but 6 of them are still here, and my husband and I'm here by myself. That rarely happens, but there you go. Everybody's got something going on tonight, and so I thought I'd take this opportunity to show you my new nature journal. So I'm liking this. I tried to keep the original cover because I thought the color was just really perfect, and I liked the fact that it was in good shape. I got it used, so it didn't have a musty smell or anything. It was in pretty good condition, so it was perfect. And so what I wanted to try to do was just expand the width of the spine, which I did. What I do is just, I'll gut the book, I'll split the spine, add cardboard of the same length, and then I expand the width to what I want. And then I glue it to the new cardboard, and then I just add this muslin to kind of cover up the process of doing that, so it has a finished look. I added lace here on the spine, right here, and then this whole piece here is a wire ribbon with the lace on it, and then I made the lace tassel to fit in with that without overpowering it too much. You can see the little charm there. It says Moments. And I thought that might be fun because this kind of book can be good for recording any kind of moment. It would be a great commonplace book, a nature journal, a smash book for a trip. It could be a prayer journal or like your faith walk journal, or it can be a place to record just a variety of memories. You know, what does several months of your life look like, or even a year, depending on how much you want to journal. A book like this can hold really anything you want it to. You can like this for gluing on pictures. You can attach memorabilia. You can take a paper clip and, you know, add a ticket stub or a flyer from some neat historical thing you want to. So the solid pages are good accents, but they're also great spots to attach stuff. So throughout this book, I've used maybe 1 or 2, possibly 3 paper collections and just bits and pieces. I stayed with more or less a vintage look, but I did like to add random pops of color and fun little quirky things to keep it balanced. So, you know, a vintage book is great, and if that's what you want, that's awesome. But sometimes I get tired of the subdued colors, and I want to add a little playful touch to that fun vintage look as well, just to kind of keep it feeling fresh and not maybe so weighted down visually. So anyway, this is my second try. I recorded this a few minutes ago. It was a little too long, and I was lingering too much. So essentially, the signatures contain similar elements. We have tuck spots, scrapbooking paper, we have doilies. Those are just a fun, playful touch. I like the mix of sizes and of textures of paper. So a doily, a coffee stained paper, a clip out from a calendar, a lighter weight scrapbook, pages from a watercolor book, which was a beautiful book. Hated to tear it up, but I think it adds some really nice color and just a real, I don't know, just a very pretty, rich colored book, and I enjoyed adding that to this. One of my favorite things to throw in is just these tea stained or coffee stained or dyed popcorn bags. They're just quirky, they're playful, and they're a great tuck spot. I put in something in most of the tuck spots here So whoever receives this will understand the gist of why you would have a pocket. It's to put anything in, but you might not notice that. So I like to put stuff in most of the little tuck spots, corner spots, belly bands. There's some sparkly paper. I like to add these black and white coloring book pages. I think they add a playful touch as well, and it'd also be a fun place to doodle. And then, of course, just a basic brown paper bag with a little journaling card inserted there. It could be a great place to write a special memory or record a Bible verse you've come across that's very meaningful to you. I've used the wax linen thread. Again, I've mentioned that in some of my other journals, but that holds these signatures in there really tight. It can be a little tricky getting it through the holes as you're sewing them up because that wax on the needle kind of sticks, but it does give a very secure feel to the journal. I'm liking the effect of these two. These are a children's reading book, and I have a few of those pages added. I like that little vintage flair. Tuck spots here with a few little goodies. Sewing effects. Not all the pages are sewn, but some of them have the look of it or a look of fabric. So it's a bit cleaner than a lot of journals, and by that I just mean a fresher, lighter look. Sometimes these are called, like if you just have your basic journal, it can be called naked. So you add the stuff that you want. And in this journal, it's probably in between being a fully dressed journal and a naked journal. It's a bit of both. It's got some of the stuff added, but it's not cram-packed, and there's plenty of room to write, to add, to do your own tucks, to clip on your own things, to adhere your own photos. Lots of plain writing space, creative writing space maybe, but lots of places to record memories in writing, as well as places to attach like you would in a smash book. We have these pictures from a plant and flower book I bought. We have some bright stationery or note cards to add a little whimsical, playful touch. And again, as I mentioned, just some sewing elements, as well as keeping in the nature theme primarily with butterflies and scrapbook, not scrapbook pages, but workbook pages from 1960s-ish workbooks. I found those at there's a local library. It's a Christian lending library, and once a quarter they have a sale. And I find all kinds of fun old books there, and I want to buy them and bring them all home, but I'm trying not to do that. So I will buy a thing on occasion if I think it'd be great in a junk journal. And this one with all the nature pictures was just a really good find for this kind of book. I've kind of repeated the feel throughout each signature. They're varied, but they contain a lot of similar elements. The watercolor painting, corner tuck spots, which can hold anything. I thought that paper was really fun. So if this were my book, I would attach a photo there, a special picture from maybe one of our trips to a local park or conservation area. Put the picture on the pretty paper and just tuck it in there. But this, again, just shows you what to use that for, so that anything can be rearranged, removed, added. These kids' nature books from the 60s, I think, are really nice. I love the illustrations. They're very detailed, but there's just a sweetness about them, which I really like. So I've incorporated that element throughout. Here's a tuck spot that doesn't have anything in it yet, but person can figure that one out and just add what they want. A little bit of note paper. I clipped on a butterfly note card and added this conservation center little thingy on building a bird house, or it's like a place for an owl. Kind of unusual stuff is a great place to add your stuff, to smash book it in, scrapbook it in, just put something on there, or clip it on. Or if you like to be creative, write throughout it. The fun of junk journals is there's no two alike, and even if a person creates similar styles, they will not be exactly the same, and they have so much personality. They're just like I call it a delight for the eyes. It's just like a little scavenger hunt. You never know what you're going to find. A little treasure hunt. There's something everywhere, and if detail appeals to you, it might be a good style of book for you to try. But if you just like visual interest, it's good in that you can keep the pages cleaner, a little simpler feel like this book has, and yet it's still very creative, colorful, and it's all cohesive, and then it's more or less nature themed, but there's a mix of bright and subdued colors, the older prints from books, as well as, you know, some of the more pops of color you see in the brighter scrapbooking paper or note cards, or these gorgeous watercolor painting pictures. This is a little tuck spot from again, the kids book. You can put a little memorabilia in there, and then the bag also opens to hold more little goodies. You could put photos in there. If you're doing a trip journal, you could do all kinds of pamphlets in there, or maybe things you find on a nature hunt if you dry a flower or something. Here's another tuck spot. This is sewn. I just folded the paper up. I like that this book has some stiffer paper like this that contains a floral theme, a nature theme, and it all ties together really well. I've added some sewing elements, some lace and sewing elements, and that some of the prints on the paper look like fabric or look like they were stitched. And then I just glued that on there for a little creative touch. Kind of mixes it up a little and just adds a whimsical vintagey touch. Here's again a floral design fitting in with the nature theme. And then this here almost looks like a fabric on the background. I like to add these coloring pages. I do that as often as I can find one that fits. And this I just think is so cool. This is kind of black and white and gold. I guess those are moths. Anyway, I liked how that looked. And then here what I did, I just cut up a lot of butterflies out of an old page from, it was actually a dollar store vintagey looking butterfly calendar, and on the back it shows you what each of the months have in miniature form, like what each month's page will look like. So I just cut out those and added those on there. Lots of butterflies here. And I'd say the overall feel is vintage, but it does have a playful touch. I put some washi tape throughout, here and there, not overdone with it, but just stuff that seemed to fit in with a nature theme. This is one of my favorites for a nature journal, that black and white washi. I got that on Amazon. I don't remember where, but I loved it. It's got the clear background, so it almost looks like the little animals are printed on there. Again, a beautiful watercolor fish story. So nature themes when I can with anything. A couple empty tuck spots that obviously can be filled with whatever you want. This was really sweet. A dad and his kids there planting a tree. And there again, the bag opens up. So I hope this gives you some ideas. Think creative, think outside the box, add anything. It just all makes a fun, interesting journey through your book, and it makes it one of a kind.